This video is sponsored by Marvel Rivals. 10 months ago, I said this.
I think Gambit would actually make a really cool strategist. I know some of you want him to be a duelist, but I think him being a strategist would make sense.
And a lot of people were asking me how I could possibly have known. There's a simple explanation. Macro is Gambit. Macro took a little trip down to Narlands, and mon chéri, he ain't come back the same. You know how long I've been waiting for this?
Woo! I'm about to make a name for myself here.
Gambit is the newest strategist in Marvel Rivals. Yeah, strategist. I called it 10 months ago, and you all laughed at me. Well, who's laughing now? Anyways, he's the newest strategist coming to Marvel Rivals Season 5, with the love of his life, Rogue, coming at the halfway point. Now, Gambit is a character I was always hoping for. As a fan of the X-Men TV series as a kid, and Marvel vs. Capcom 2, he has always been one of my favorite heroes of all time. So seeing him here is amazing. So before I explain how to play Gambit, let's learn about his comic book history real quick. Gambit's real name is Remy LeBeau, and he is a mutant with the power to make almost anything explode, with him most famously using playing cards to do this. He was born into the Thieves Guild in New Orleans, and he's got a thick Cajun accent, which sounds like French but way cooler, which is why he sounds like he does in the movies and shows and even in this game, often speaking about himself in third person. When he was younger, he was supposed to marry a woman in the rival Assassins Guild to broker peace, but he ended up getting banished after killing his bride's brother in self-defense because he didn't like him. And because his powers were so out of control, he had Mr. Sinister alter his genetic makeup to keep his powers in check. Essentially a mutant lobotomy, but in exchange, he had to work for Mr. Sinister. Also, side note, canonically, Remy would be an Omega level mutant, which is the most powerful kind of mutant there is, and there's even an alternate timeline where he just destroys the entire universe. But in Marvel, who isn't destroying the entire universe, you know? After doing a few missions for Mr. Sinister, he was tasked to kill off the entire Morlock mutant family. And this was too far. So Remy tried to stop Mr. Sinister, but ultimately failed, with many of the Morlocks still dying. So then Gambit kinda disappeared and traveled the world, where he would end up meeting and helping Storm. And Storm was so grateful she brought him back to the X-Men headquarters. And this is where most people definitely recognize Gambit as a very pivotal member of the X-Men. And one of the most famous comic book storylines is his love for the mutant Rogue. In multiple different comic runs, him and Rogue end up together. They're meant to be. And it's poetically beautiful because he sadly can't touch her because of her powers, but he still loved her nonetheless. And in the Marvel Rivals timeline, he was about to marry his love Rogue, but then a time stream entanglement crashed their wedding and made her ring disappear, meaning Gambit had to find it. And that's where we are as of Season 5. It's nice to see Gambit and Rogue together, and on top of that, the voice actors from the TV series are reprising their roles as Gambit and Rogue respectively, which is honestly so dope. So, now that you know a little bit about Gambit, let's learn how to play him, shall we? Gambit's main way of attacking is with his deck of playing cards, and he shoots them 3 at a time in a horizontal spread that will either damage enemies or heal teammates hit by the cards. For some reason, he only has 21 cards before he has to reload and shuffle them, but like, why 21? There's 52 cards in the deck, 54 if we include jokers. Even if we just use the 2 suits, spades and hearts, it would still be 26. Having only 21 cards is just so random. And I know it's for balance purposes, but it bothers me lore-wise for some reason. Give Gambit a full deck! Anyways, these cards are fast projectiles that do a lot of damage, giving Gambit a pretty high DPS output. So you'll find yourself racking up kills pretty easily as the Gambit. And while the cards do spread out, they still follow a linear path, meaning you can land a cheeky kill from across the map from time to time, if you play your cards right. Not just Spidey Shinobi, let's go. But when it comes to his healing output, he's no slouch either. You can reliably keep your team alive with just these cards alone, as long as you got the aim skill. And with 3 cards spreading out, it's not that difficult to land shots on your team. But he does have even more tricks up his sleeve, with his first abilities, healing hearts and breaking spades. You see, Gambit has these 4 card icons that will automatically recharge, and you can choose to use these charges to make a card a heart or a spade. If you have the heart card active, it will self-heal Gambit for the entire duration. So this is how Gambit self-heals as a strategist, in case you were wondering. And while you're in the heart mode, you can use an additional card charge to activate Bridge Boost or Purifying Pickup. Bridge Boost will throw a full deck of cards to heal teammates, and these cards will bounce off your allies and heal everyone for a ton of health. This is great if you need to burst heal and keep your clustered team alive, especially when they're low. And it's especially great when your team is all fighting on point. Now, Purifying Pickup has you launch your cards in an arc ahead of you, healing all nearby allies and purifying them as well. The purifying effect will remove a ton of unwanted negative effects like anti-heals, stuns, and much more, which we will go over in the pro tips, I promise. But yeah, it's as broken as it sounds. So Gambit mains will need to keep track of their cards and make sure they can always purify when needed. Now, if you have a Spade card active, Gambit will gain a slight damage boost for its duration. This extra damage output makes Gambit basically another damage hero on the team. And while in the Spade mode, you can use an additional card to activate Bidding Barrage or Explosive Trick. The Bidding Barrage creates an explosion all around you, damaging enemies and knocking them up, which sort of keeps them in place, which means that enemies hit by this are easy pickings. But it's mostly great crowd control when you need it in a pinch. The Explosive Trick fires in one direction a full set of cards, which deals solid damage, and also inflicts reduced healing. This reduced healing aspect is what makes this very strong. If you land this on an opponent playing a little too aggressively, they can be punished by this on the spot. But also the damage this does can just get eliminations by itself, which is why Gambit's DPS output is so high. It turns out reduced healing is kind of broken. Who would have thought? Oh, double kill, let's go!
That's a clip.
Okay, enough about these cards. We're not playing poker, we're rivaling some marvels. But seriously, Gambit is so complicated, he has a full second page to explain what he does. It's actually nuts. Anyways, let's talk about Gambit's next ability, Bayou Bash. You slam your bow staff on the ground, dealing damage to enemies around it and healing nearby allies. This ability has 2 charges, so you can slam multiple times if you need to. It also has an interesting property of being able to knock down flying enemies, so that's fun. If your team is grouped up, the healing output it provides is nice in a pinch. But in general, this attack is great to deal that last bit of damage needed to finish an enemy. And landing a kill with it is so satisfying.
He's dead.
Gambit's next ability is his movement ability, Cajun Charge. This is a quick movement option that has Gambit dash in whatever direction you choose. And then immediately afterwards, you'll be given the option to use one of your Bayou Bash cooldowns to activate a spin attack. This spin attack increases your movement distance a ton and can even damage enemies in the path. So while the dash by itself is good for dodging enemies, when paired with the spin attack, you can get out with your life a lot safer. It's pretty fast. And since you have multiple dashes, Gambit is great for chasing down weakened enemies to secure a kill. Thanks, Angela. You think I can't chase you? Haha! And now we have Gambit's ultimate, Ragin' Royal Flush. You and any ally in sight will be granted increased movement speed, jump height, and enhanced attacks with additional single target explosive damage. And it also gives your allies increased ultimate ability charge acceleration. And on top of all that, it also cleanses them too. This ultimate is actually crazy. Like, sure, just by yourself you can get some sweet kills with it, but what makes it insane is that everybody on your team can have it at the same time. So because it's so powerful, it will at minimum bait out an enemy defensive ultimate or two. And at best, you can easily team wipe. You got it, let's go!
That is such a alley-oop ult, I love it.
Now, it's not really a defensive ultimate, but that's okay since so many strategists already do that. Like, it feels like every strategist has a press this to save your entire team button, and Gambit's is not that. But I have been able to save my teammates with this ultimate before.
Pinky, I'm healing you.
It's just a great ultimate that creates a ton of destruction and chaos, and I love it.
Oh my god, Gambit with Supernova is something to behold. In Supernova, I'm just so much faster than everyone.
Oh, heck yeah, dude. Mi chérie, Macro 2 grew up in the bayou of Nolans. So listen to these pro tips. Number 1, Gambit has a team up with Magneto, granting Magneto enhanced projectiles. So obviously he pairs well with Magneto. Duh. Also, are Gambit's cards metal? Why can Magneto block this? What? I also think he pairs together well with any hero that can utilize the boost from his ultimate effectively, which ends up being more divey characters like Magic or Daredevil. On top of that, I think Gambit is most effective in triple strategist compositions, allowing for Gambit to put more focus on anti-healing the enemies and less on healing, as the other supports could do that for you. He would essentially fulfill a role similar to Mantis in the meta, with less emphasis on damage boosting and more of an emphasis on the anti-healing. Seriously, being a healer with anti-healing is kinda nuts. Number 2. Out of spawn, Gambit can quickly cover a lot of distance, making him actually pretty great for touching the point and triggering overtime.
The point!
I got the touch.
So even if you're not playing Gambit, slower support mains could potentially swap and trigger overtime by switching to Gambit. And if you're already playing Gambit and are able to touch point, your ultimate can even help you fully take back the point, which can be oh so clutch.
I actually got the barely last second touch. Group up for ult, Group 5, everyone here,
Get it.
Let's do it.
Holy shit, the combos!
Let's go.
Number 3. The card's recharge time is about as long as the duration of the card's effect, which is about 5 seconds. Knowing and having this timing down is going to be crucial for maximizing his healing and damage output. Also, this means that if your cards are fully charged, there's almost no downside in having one of these abilities active continuously, since even if you don't use an additional card, by the time the duration's over, you'll have the charge back. So you can always be in a perpetual state of healing yourself or damage boosting yourself, which is important in the beginning phases when you're just trying to rack up damage. Number 4. As I promised, here is the list of every single ability and ultimate that Gambit can cleanse. Enjoy.
By the eye of Agamotto! I am Groot! Beholds the God of Thunder! It's clobbering time! Let the devil out!
Woo, I'm about to make a name for myself here.
Overall, Gambit's addition to this game as a strategist is a very welcome one. We've been needing more strategists in this game, and having a character as popular as Gambit be a strategist is a very smart choice. Because now, people might actually play strategist. Marvel Rivals has been very creative with the different strategists that they've added to this game, and I don't think they're gonna slow down anytime soon. Long story short, I'm happy Gambit's here. But how is he for noobs? For noobs, I would honestly say that Gambit is hard to play. He has a ton of different abilities that you need to keep track of on multiple levels. You need to know when to use a heart, when to use a spade, when to use the individual cards, when to cleanse, on top of all the movement abilities you have. Seriously, for most noobs, it will be very overwhelming. But after getting enough practice with Gambit, I think people will see that he's one of the most fun and interesting characters added to this game. But what do you think? Have you played Gambit? And if so, do you think he's easy to play or hard to play? Do you think he's overpowered and needs nerfs or underpowered and needs buffs? Let me know in the comments down below. Okay, everybody, Macro gotta head back to the bayou, so I'll catch you later. Ya noob.